Let's talk about the transmission principles of manual cars. Here we're discussing the engine. The power source connects to the A plate of the clutch. In other words, we see the engine. The clutch consists of two discs. One disc is connected to the engine. As long as the engine is running, this A disc, it is rotating. The clutch part controls the connection and disconnection of A and B. The coupling and decoupling of device A and B. When we press down on the clutch, A and B separate. Power isn't transmitted over. If you release the clutch, A and B connect, transferring power to C here. Inside the gearbox, there are two sets of gears. Through manual operation, the large and small gears interchange in the gearbox. Altering vehicle speed involves a gear. The large and small gears are swapping places. Now these parts are separated. This means B is in neutral on the second gear. If C rotates, then C rotates. The D gear inside the transmission rotates. The tires rotate. Their interaction is as follows. First, let's understand their interaction. When we press the clutch, A and B separate. Engine, I'll start it again. Power only transfers to A here. It doesn't transfer over because it's the second device that is separated. Second, double clutching. When we double clutch, A and B connect together. Therefore, power is transmitted to C. Then C rotates. Think about it, everyone. At this moment, it's in neutral. Can C and D connect? It's impossible for one to be spinning, while the other isn't. They can't combine. So what action do we need to take? We need to perform one action. We should ease up on the throttle. After we depress the clutch, power separates so B stops rotating. So at this time, we can shift gears. In other words, when we shift gears, we must disengage the gas pedal to change gears. The rear crab gear is when our double clutch A and B connect together, then C and D also connect. So the tires start moving. By principle, that's how it is. That's correct, but our vehicle has weight. With the weight of the vehicle, if you want to move it quickly, it requires a lot of energy. But that's not possible. Therefore, we need to gradually release the clutch for this reason. If you release the clutch too quickly, it will stall. This is because suddenly the vehicle isn't moving. Hence, it stalls. Now let's look at the gearbox. The gearbox operates with the gears swapping. If we shift from small to large gear, it's in low gear. If it's large gear, combined with small gear, it's high speed, because it goes faster, right? This mechanism is identical to that of a bicycle. The reverse gear is just a gear in between. With an added gear, it changes direction. Next, let's observe. What happens if you don't press the clutch? If we release the clutch, the engine isn't running, and it's still in gear. So when we start it, the vehicle will lurch forward. If you shift into first gear, it'll lurch forward. If you shift into reverse, it'll roll backward. Therefore, in a manual car, when starting, you must press the clutch. Press the brakes. Ensure it's in neutral to avoid the car suddenly lunging. So what if a manual car won't start? NL. When there's no battery power, we can push it. Because think about it. To start, you can push the car. In other words, when we push the car, we can also start the car. But how do we start it? Shift into low gear, press the clutch. Don't press the brake, lock the brake, and then release. Push from behind. Once the car has a bit of speed, you can then let go. Releasing the clutch engages the engine to start. In an automatic car, you can't do that, because the transmission system of an automatic car operates differently. Manual cars require pedal operation. In this diagram, we have 1, 2, 3. Because someone asked a question. Let's explain what 1, 2, 3, and 4 signify. First, let's watch a clip. Hello, everyone. This is a manual car. A manual car has 3 pedals. The rightmost is the accelerator. The middle one is the brake, and we control the accelerator and brakes with our right foot. You absolutely cannot use your left foot for the brake. It's only the right foot that operates the accelerator and brake. Okay, let's pay attention to how our foot is positioned. The foot should be on the ground. The point of contact is under our toes. Don't step like this, it's harder to control. It's just not right. This way, your foot is suspended. If you can't press properly, the same goes to the accelerator. Use your toes down on the pedal. When braking, you must press lightly. Press gently, gradually applying pressure. Press gently and slowly. The brake locks all 4 wheels. At that time, the brake mainly engages the rear 2 wheels. It's just an assist. So if you want to slow down, you shouldn't rely solely on braking to reduce speed. You can't use the brakes to slow down. Alright, next we introduce the clutch pedal. The 1 to 27 pedal is the farthest to the left. When pressing it, go all the way down. When releasing, do so slowly. When starting, release slowly. Each car's clutch has its own friction point, meaning when it starts to move the car. That point differs. Some start moving with just a little release, others need to be higher. Some might even have to be released even higher. This is due to different levels of clutch wear. The extent of wear affects the characteristic of each car. Therefore, when releasing the clutch, the friction point varies. So sometimes when students change cars, for instance, today I drive car A, tomorrow I drive car B, I think it's hard to drive. This is our handbrake section. Right now, the handbrake is in the engaged position. The handbrake is responsible for the 2 rear wheels. It controls the 2 rear wheels. Now for manual cars, before stopping, you must shift to neutral and engage the handbrake. After that, shift into first gear. Why into first gear? The first safety measure is the gear engaged. If in gear, the car won't move. So that's 2 safety measures. 2 safeguards, therefore. Starting a manual car requires you to press the clutch. Press the brake. How to release it? Pull it slightly upwards, pull it slightly upwards. Raise it, raise it. You need to apply some pressure here. If you press directly down, it's hard to manage. You need to raise it a bit, and once raised, release it. Directly lifting it works. Just pull it up like that. If you're worried, the release is the same. When releasing, so raise it upwards. Raise it downwards as well. This video was posted online, and some users responded. They said driving manual cars is hard. They keep stalling. The manual car drives easy to drive. It doesn't stall easily, but why is that? Let's analyze why. We divide the clutch travel into 10 equal parts. The car in the driving school is the #1 car. Its usage is not high. The wear is also minimal. This means when you release from 1271 to the 3rd notch, it already starts moving the car. The driving school car. Let's assume it's the #2 car. It needs to be released to the 6th point to start moving. So we're used to releasing 127 quickly, from 1 to 5. We release faster in this range. Then it stops here. Release slowly. Switching to the #1 car. You might suddenly release to the 5th notch. Suddenly releasing to the 5th notch. That leads to stalling because you jump to the 6th. It stalls here because you're releasing too fast. So this teaches students something important. The clutch in every car differs. The clutch height is not the same. So what is height? It's the friction point. For example, in the when you release the 2nd gear, it will pull you forward. For the #2 car, it must be released to the 6th before moving. To reach the 6th mark, you must pull it to the limit. This means it has to be higher, because the frequency of usage is different for each car. The wear levels will also differ. Hence, the height will be different. However, it can be adjusted. But once adjusted to a certain extent, it cannot be changed anymore. So when driving a manual, the first thing is to understand what clutch friction is. Not every car is the same. This is something I want to remind everyone. Earlier, we mentioned the operation of the handbrake. Generally, we use the handbrake for starting on an incline. When starting on an incline, why do cars stall? Why did it stall? Because he pulled the handbrake too hard. When you need to let go, you have to put in a lot of effort to release the handbrake. As a result, the manual side moves a lot. This is how many driving school tests are. So hands go one way, feet go another. Don't move your clutch when you're releasing the handbrake. Otherwise, you'll stall. That's the analysis I'm sharing with you. Next, let's talk about manual transmission cars and how to operate them. If you use the gear correctly, it won't stall. First, let's watch a video. This is a manual transmission car. What we're going to teach you is the operating principles of a manual transmission. Okay, here's the gear lever. The gear lever, that's the handbrake. Handbrake. Now let's make sure our gear is in neutral. The neutral position, and we have the handbrake pulled tight. All right, now we press the 2nd pedal. Press the brake. We start the vehicle's engine. After starting the vehicle engine, all our dashboard warning lights are good and normal. Our handbrake is still engaged, so our handbrake light is still on. All right, then let's start in first gear. Move it to the left, push up. Shift into first gear, then we release the handbrake, let the brake go. Slowly release the clutch. There are 2 ways to release it. One is to not press the gas. If you're a beginner, you should practice not pressing the gas. Slowly let it in. Slowly release. This car has a higher clutch bite point, so it needs to be released higher. Only then will it move. This is called moving. You just adapt. Keep both feet still until it's completely moving, then you release your foot and let go. We didn't press the gas at all. At this point, if you press the gas, it will move faster. That's our first gear starting action. This is the no gas action. All right, then let's continue and teach you that you need to add a little gas to get it moving. When we stop, release the clutch. Also the brake. Same thing. Slowly release the clutch and you can add a bit of gas. We can see from the engine RPM gauge, if we're pressing the gas, are we moving, right? Let go of everything. This way, it reduces the chance of stalling. It will be a bit faster. And now, let's try again. When we stop, press the clutch. Let's look at the RPM gauge. Our current engine RPM is 1000. Let's shift into first gear. Again, slowly release the clutch. We're not pressing the gas. Slowly release the clutch. As it goes up, the car will move. We just keep both feet still. Don't move. We're not pressing the gas. We're just relying on the clutch action. We use the least amount of force. Wait until the wheels are fully rolling. Then we fully release the clutch and press the gas. This is what beginners need to learn about releasing. After practicing a bit, you can try pressing the gas. When we stop, let's try the gas again. Press the clutch. Release the brake. All right, we have to add a little gas. We can see from our engine RPM gauge, if we're pressing the gas, this is pressing the gas. Slowly let it out. This way, the starting motion will be a bit quicker. So this needs special attention. It means we need to apply the right amount of gas. We've got to be precise. Good strength. Actually, this video explains it very clearly. The coach marks a red line for the left foot and a white line for the right foot. The lengths differ. This means that when a beginner drives a manual car, the left foot's front is longer, and the front part needs to be used to control the clutch. Just gradually release the clutch. Once the car starts to roll, then you stop. Don't let go. As the tires roll, you need to slowly release it. Once your left foot can control the clutch, then you add your right foot. What does the right foot do? It's for gas, right? Once your left foot can control the clutch, we'll need to work with the right foot. What does the right foot do? It's the accelerator. So while we're easing at 127, next, we need to add a bit of fuel. If we add a bit of fuel, the RPM will be quicker. The start will be faster and less likely to stall, because beginners are just starting out. We can't expect them to teach you to operate with both feet at once. You must practice with the left foot first, then we'll add in the right foot. This is a step-by-step process. We can't just say, okay, use both feet to operate. That way you won't be able to operate. Just now, we already learned to control the clutch. Next, let's understand manual transmission vehicles. How to control the speed of the car. The coach has written down left foot and right foot. After we finish the video, we'll explain the left foot and right foot. This is a manual transmission vehicle. Today, we'll teach how to drive a manual transmission slowly. First, we need to press the clutch. Press it down fully and shift into first gear. Slowly release the clutch. Release until the car starts to move, then stop releasing. We only use the clutch to control our speed. Slowly release the clutch. Release until it moves, then stop releasing. If you feel the speed is too fast, just press down a little bit more. A little slower, just press down a bit more. To go faster, just release a little bit. Then pause with your heel on the ground. Heel on the ground. Where you turn the steering wheel, the car goes that way, then adjust left or right. Controlling a manual vehicle at low speed, reversing is the same. We press the clutch. Press the brake, press the brake. Actually, it doesn't have braking power, so you need to press the brake. Okay, switch to reverse gear. Similarly, slowly release the clutch, release the brake, and slowly release the clutch. We're slowly releasing the clutch. Until the car moves, we won't release anymore. All right, maintain this speed with your heel on the ground. Now let's check our left side mirror, adjust the left side. It should be tilted to the left. After centering, adjust to the right. It's moved to the right now. You need to practice adjusting left and right. If the car needs to go left, just adjust left. It'll slowly move left. If it's too fast, it might drop. If it's too close to the line, we'll correct it. After correcting, we need to separate a bit. We'll also adjust right. The car is now separated. Okay, center it again. Remember to correct. If you've made adjustments, you need to recenter, otherwise it will just keep bending. We adjust over to the left. Did you see? Good recenter. If so, it will get too close to the line. Now we also adjust right. All right, recenter. This is our adjustment to the right. Adjusting to the right, it moved to the right. Do you see? Good, let's pull it left. Can you see the separation? Good. This is theory. Half-pressed stick mode. Heel on the ground is the control of a manual vehicle. This part is about controlling the clutch. It's about low-speed operation. And it's also teaching you to adjust the steering wheel. So, coach, why learn with the right foot? Because there was a student who released the clutch too high. The speed was faster, so they used the right foot to press the brake. In other words, they used the brake to control the speed. This is not correct. Speed control is solely managed with the left foot. The right foot shouldn't be used to control the brake. This is something to remind everyone. Next, let's look at the manual transmission gear positions and the relationship with speed. Let's also look at the actual operation in the video. Some committee members discussed, why do we shift through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It's to synchronize with our gear shifts. When you start, the speed is in first gear. Go a bit faster, shift to second. Each gear pushes up. Now we'll test our first gear conditions. Fix the engine RPM. At a fixed RPM, how fast can it go? What speed is it? All right, let's test it out. We need to park. Let's start in first gear. Press a second time, press all the way down. Why do we need to press all the way down? If you don't press all the way down, you'll have issues shifting gears. It won't shift, it won't go in. It could damage the transmission. So remember this about manual cars. The pedal must be fully pressed down to shift. To be precise, shift over. Push up into first and we'll add some gas. Slowly let off the clutch, good. And now it's moving. We're in first gear now. The engine RPM is at 2000. If the engine RPM is at 2000, the speed is about 20. Let's shift to second gear, gently apply gas. Release the gas to shift into second. Likewise, let's keep the engine RPM. Bring it to 2000 RPM. Good, now the speed is a bit faster. It's at 25. All right, what's the engine RPM now? Let's shift to third gear. Okay, apply gas. Release the gas to shift into third. Push up to accelerate. We're still at 2000 RPM. All right, the speed is now at 40. Now if we shift to fourth, that'll go even faster. Okay, that's fourth gear. We're already at a similar rate. Let's keep it at 2000 RPM. The speed reaches nearly 60. The faster we go, the higher the gear we shift into. From the video we watched, let's look at this chart. The engine RPM stays the same, but the different gears mean different speeds. Because the gear sizes are different. There's been a discussion where a coach said, is it possible to start in third gear? That's not possible, because in third gear, it won't be able to start. And if the speed is high, third gear will waste fuel as well. So with a manual car, you constantly shift gears based on speed. Next, let's watch this video. How to shift gears in a manual car. This is a manual car without automatic transmission. How do we shift gears correctly? Before shifting, press the clutch all the way down. Currently shift from neutral to first gear. Push left, then up. When shifting to second gear, pull left and down. To shift to third gear, push up. Jump back to neutral, then push up again. To shift to fourth gear, pull down to neutral. Then pull down to fourth gear. When shifting to fifth gear, first push up to neutral. Pull right, then push up. Now we're in fifth gear. It's an H-shaped design, must not shift diagonally. When shifting from fifth back to neutral, slightly pull down. It will return to neutral. Don't push left or right, just push up and down. Push up for third, pull down to neutral. Now pull down to fourth gear. Push up back to neutral. If you're unsure of which gear you're in, don't push left or right, just push up and down. You can find neutral this way. Pull left, push up. Shift into first gear. Directly pull down, it will jump back to neutral. Pull down again to reach fourth gear. Push up back to neutral. When shifting to second gear, always pull left. Pull down. Push up to jump back to neutral. Push up again to enter third gear. Directly pull down to return to neutral. When you want to shift into reverse, pull right then pull down. There can be situations where you can't shift into reverse. First, return to neutral and press the clutch again. Shift gears anew. This is a normal phenomenon. Never force it into gear. The above tutorial is hoped to be helpful to you. After watching the video, I actually have a question for everyone. When you shift gears, where do your eyes look? Our eyes must look straight ahead. You can't look down at the shifter, because if you look down at the shifter, it's easy to crash into something. Because the position of the shifter, it doesn't change, it doesn't mean it's suddenly above today. I'm feeling down tomorrow. Move it down, no way. It's fixed. So remember clearly, when shifting gears, keep your eyes straight ahead. Next, let's take a look at driving a manual car. Hello everyone, this is a manual car. This is the clutch. This is the brake and this is the gas. Our right foot. For gas and brake, not acceleration. Should just rest on the brake. Okay, for the manual car, you need to step on the second gear. This is a gearless car. Alright, when we start, press the clutch. Okay, when we start, press the clutch and start the car. Alright, it started. Let's shift into first gear. Let go of everything. Let's slowly release. Alright, the car is moving. Just hold on. Let it move slowly. Because we need to enter that lane. Can't go too fast, so 127 is in a partial release state. Let's slightly adjust the steering wheel. At the entrance, let's gently press down. Lightly press the brake. Right turn signal. Same slowly release. Give it a little gas. Alright, you go. Don't release too early. Wait until the car is fully moving. Okay, let's release everything. Okay, we need to switch to second gear. Press the clutch, ease off the gas, switch to second gear. Now in second gear, we need to turn left at the intersection. Let's signal left. We need to pay attention to the wide-angle mirrors. No cars, we just go through. Don't need to pay attention to it. No cars. Our steering wheel is currently in second gear. See? Now pressing gas and lightly pressing brake. Didn't you come to a complete stop? Don't press, just focus. We'll turn right. Signal right. We press the clutch. There's a gap. Let's shift down one gear. First check if there are cars on the left. No cars, let's start turning right. Okay, no cars, we can proceed. Ready to straighten up. Okay, we're currently in first gear. Let's switch to second gear. Press the clutch. Ease off the gas. Switch to second gear. Ease off the clutch. Okay. Always check our two rearview mirrors. For the vehicles behind, we'll switch to third gear. Ease off the gas. We need to turn left at the intersection. Signal left. We're buying a car now. Press the clutch, press the brake. Let's downshift to first gear and gently ease off the gas. There's no car on the right. We'll go in, we need to turn right. Second gear, ease to the right. There are no cars in 2 lanes? All right, now in second gear, let's switch to third gear at 027, switching to third gear. All right, we'll merge into the lane. Signal left for merging. This is our rearview mirror. Good night, everyone. Pull over slowly. Watch when you pull over slowly. We will come. Thank you. There's a car ahead. Let's wait a moment. We'll shift down 1 gear. Slowly help me introduce the electric chair. Let go of everything. We need to shift to second gear. Easing off, we need to shift to second gear. Let the fun game. All right, now in second gear. Okay, let's switch to third gear. Put on the headset. Red light, we just clear the way. Brake, good, travel safe. Engage the brake. I'm heading to Donggang. This video is posted online. Some netizens said they can drive a manual car after watching it. Indeed, it's true, because driving is a habit. After you develop this habit, it's actually not that hard. So everyone must pay attention. You should write a slogan for your raise. After getting your license, you'll drive an automatic car. After a while, you'll forget how to drive a manual car. But that's okay. The internet is very convenient now. You just need to return to the driving school's website. Then you can find the manual car operation essentials. That will help refresh your memory. The engine brake for a manual car is in first gear. The speed back to the finish line is 15. Second gear is 55. Third gear is 70. Fourth gear is 75. Fifth gear is 85. Where do these numbers come from? Let's take a look at this video. All right, we pressure this group. We release the cattle, and Saudi also releases. All right, speed is now 6. All right, we're at the finish line. This is what happened. Yes. The proper speed should be 60. Currently, the unit is in the 4 islands. Speed at the finish line is 75. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Stay off for a while. Now the current speed is 45. Oh. No. We're at the finish line. Speed is 70. This is our second gear downhill. Currently, we are refueling. Come on. All right, let off the gas. First, second gear downhill. His speed today is 40. What is it? All right, we're at the finish line. It's about 15. I'm not switching parties now. I'll keep accelerating. All right, let everything off. In first gear, the speed is very slow. It hardly moves. The speed is under 20. I'll think of you. I know you. I'll give you. Earlier, we tested the slope of Huangyan. The speed downhill in first gear is close to 20, while fifth and fourth gears are close to 80. He's very optimistic. Watched this manual car engine braking. The conclusion we reached is, these numbers are thus rejected. When going downhill, be sure to switch to low gear in advance. You can't switch to low gear while driving, because if there's speed, it won't be able to shift gears. This is something to remind everyone about. This is the shifting method for automatic transmission cars. There's a P gear, reverse, neutral, and on the right is the D gear. On the left is the S gear. The very bottom is B gear. And this car is the same. P gear, reverse, neutral. The operation of low and second gear in an automatic car. Let's take a look at its gear positions. P means parking gear. When you put it in P, the cabin locks. When it's stationary, it locks the transmission. R is the reverse gear, used when backing up. When stopping at a red light, pull the handbrake tight. The handbrake can be shifted to neutral. First gear is the forward gear. When moving forward, it will automatically shift to 2 and S gears, as well as L and B gears. In principle, both of these gears have engine braking. It's just that the effect of engine braking is slower in difference. Second gear and first gear. The engine brake effect is certainly weaker than L or B gears. And at the same time, L gear and B gear, or 2 gear and S gear. When you are in gear, it won't shift on its own. It stays fixed in that gear. If we're driving on the highway and need to overtake, then we need to downshift. If we're in first gear while driving, then for downshifting, you can shift to second gear. This way, the engine will raise its RPM. Climbing hills is just the same. When we climb hills, we use D gear. If it feels weak while going uphill, then shift down to 2 gear. Use S gear to climb. If you can't make it with 2 and S gears, we shift down to L and B gears because its torque is much stronger. This also means it's for climbing hills. The way to shift gears when starting. When moving the gear shift, your right foot must develop the habit of being on the brake pedal. Normally while driving, you should also develop the habit of not pressing the shift button. What is the shift button? We'll discuss that as well. Currently, new cars have eliminated that shift lever part. In the following video, we will also discuss your vehicle must come to a complete stop when reversing. To shift to forward and during forward gear, it must be completely stopped. Only then can we switch to reverse gear. Here we talk about the gear lever. If it's not in P gear, the car key cannot be removed. When stopping the car, you must shift the gear lever into neutral. Next, pull the handbrake firmly. You need to switch to P gear to remove the key. To start your engine, you must hold the brake. So there's no issue there. To turn the key, start the engine in an automatic transmission. When starting the engine, it must be in P gear. If the gear lever is not in P, also in neutral, you can start the engine. Other gears won't work. Automatic cars have some safety designs to prevent it from surging forward. First, if you don't press the brake pedal, it won't be able to move the gear shift. Friend. The car key cannot be removed. This also mentions preventing these situations. The key itself. When shifting from P to N or D, there are still some necessary precautions to follow. Let's look at what those are. The first thing, when starting the engine, you must press the brake. Second, when shifting to low gear or reverse gear, you also need to press the brake, or from reverse to D. You need to step on the brake. Third, when moving to D gear, you switch from P to reverse, even if you don't press the accelerator. You can use coasting to slowly move forward. When you need to stop, you must press the brake. In case of a gear shift, an incorrect operation can cause the car to lurch forward, or when reversing, it's the most basic action. Of course, you can press the brake. If there's a gear shift opportunity, you may switch to neutral to cut the power. Let's look at this automatic car. It has a release button for shifting. You have to press the release button. Okay, now let's switch to D gear. So to shift from reverse to neutral, you don't need to press. You can just move it out without pressing. Shifting from neutral to low gear also doesn't require pressing. And pushing to neutral again doesn't require pressing. So neutral, low gear, neutral doesn't require pressing. Next, when shifting to 2 gear, you have to press. When shifting from 2 gear to L gear, the thumb isn't pressed down. It can shift to 2nd gear. You also have to press the release button, because at this moment, if you press the release button... Okay, next we will go back to the neutral part. You don't need to press, just push it up. Let's see if it pushes up to 2nd gear. Then push up to 1st gear. Then push to neutral. It's easy to push it to the reverse. So for D gear returning to neutral, you don't need to press the release button. When shifting from neutral to reverse, you must press. When shifting to P gear, you must also press. Okay, this is P gear. In other words, this button is a safety design. It presses when it should, and it shouldn't be pressed when it's not necessary. Next, let's look at this shifting method. It doesn't have a button now. Let's see the video. When switching to reverse gear, you need to hold the brake. When shifting from reverse to N gear, next, when shifting from N to D gear, you also need to step on the brake. While driving, when shifting from D to S gear, and switching to B gear, you don't need to step on the brake. You can just pull it left or right. See? D gear while driving. Okay, now we're going back to reverse gear. At this point, in the neutral position, it should be stopping. So this one doesn't have a release button. That was the previous design, which had a release button. New cars no longer have the release button issue. It won't let you underestimate it, okay? Now, in the lower left corner, there's its gear position. So while driving, if you want to switch to S gear, just pull it over. If the engine brake isn't enough, just pull it down. S gear is 85. There's no issue with the 4-way button. Let's take a look at the engine braking of this automatic car. The test results for this car: in low gear, the endpoint is 100. B gear is 51. When going downhill, use B gear to descend. When going downhill, use gear B. Safer, because in S mode, it's still 85, still too fast. In B mode, it's 51. Next, let's look at our Tesla's vehicle. Automatic car. We will also test it to see how its results turn out. This is the result of his test. The result of engine braking in automatic transmission, because this car is 1500 cc. In low gear, the endpoint is 90. When 2D mode is turned off, arriving at the endpoint is 80. In second gear, it goes back to 65. For sixth gear, it's 50. So for this car, when we go downhill, we use second gear to descend. This chart shows the results of the previous test. The automatic car at the same speed on flat ground with different gear levels. Engine RPM is different. Let's first look at B mode. Is at a speed of 70, but its engine RPM reaches 4,000. When it's revving, the engine sounds a bit louder. Because of the high speed, due to the fast RPM of the engine, it produces more noise. The speed in S mode is the same. It reached 70, but the RPM gauge hit 2,500. The engine sound is relatively quieter than in B mode. In low gear, it's the same. Speed is 70, but it only needs 1,000 RPM. So the sound is relatively lower. In low gear, it will shift by itself. Starting in first gear with a fast speed, it will shift up. Now about S mode. It won't jump, and B mode also doesn't jump. So this is where the difference in gear levels lies. While we're driving, if the engine noise feels loud, so you need to pay attention to whether your gear is right. You might be in S mode, but S mode isn't off limits. It can be used because the RPM is high, right? Higher RPM, the sound level will be louder. High RPM and loud noise. It will also cause the temperature to rise, and it will also be friendly. This is something to remind everyone about. Eco. This is the eco driving indicator light. When this light is on, it means you're in eco driving mode. But if you press the gas pedal hard, the light will go off. Let's talk about how to drive economically. For example, when our speed is 40, release the gas pedal and coast to. See how far the vehicle can go at 20s, how far it can coast. Now let's watch this video. Currently, the speed is 40. Now releasing the pedal, it's coasting. The number above is 100 meters. 110 meters, as it's based on the lane markings. To gauge its distance. This is just an estimate. Okay, we are now at 20. At 20, 12 means the speed is very slow. This is the moment we just press the brake. So when it drops from 40 to 20, it took 22 seconds and a total of 160 meters. This tells us we need to keep our eyes on the road ahead, release the gas pedal early to decelerate, and coast slowly down to a speed of 20, and then gently tap the brakes to stop the vehicle. If you're braking, it means you are accelerating too much. In the future, when driving outside, keep your eyes ahead and release the gas pedal early. Let it coast. And stop when necessary. Don't accelerate and then brake. That means braking hard, which can be dangerous and can also increase brake wear. So remember, keep your eyes ahead. Release the gas pedal early. Let it coast until you need to stop. This is called eco-driving value. Next, let's look at how to teach the car to stop smoothly. When practicing in driving school, it's important to get the car to stop smoothly without slamming the brakes. The instructor is there swaying back and forth. Once we met a student. That wasn't my teaching. It was another colleague's teaching. He came to me and said, "Wow, this is so hard to teach. Every time I brake, I slam the brakes. It's very uncomfortable." And I said, "Okay, I'll go take a look at what's going on." First, I asked him, "Why do you want to learn manual transmission?" He was already in his 60s and wanted to learn manual because he was going to immigrate to Switzerland since his daughter is in Switzerland after retiring. He would go. I said, "Okay." Next, let's ask about his profession. I said, "He's a professor." I asked, "What do you teach?" He said he teaches piano, and I said, "Great." Then I asked him, "I remember playing the piano also involves using your feet, and that you can gently press with your feet, right? Just like playing the piano, you can gently tap the brakes, not press too hard." Because he was afraid he couldn't control the car. Don't press it that hard, because it will be scared. It will be scared of losing control of the car. So when you step on the brakes, you really push down, but it makes the instructor uncomfortable. So later I told him, it's like playing the piano. Just gently and slowly press down, and that solves it. Now let's see how to edit this video. Let's take a look. We need to stop at the intersection ahead. Let's release the gas. Lightly step on the brakes, do it slowly. Just lightly press, no need to apply too much force. Press slowly. Look at that ball. We're at the entrance, lightly press down just a little. Got to fill in before? Then release it, just like that. Lightly press, step on slowly. Release a little bit, right? Like this. This means that all of you students at the training class need to practice the brake action well. Otherwise, when you drive out, no one will dare to ride in your car. This is something to remind everyone about. Finally, thank you all for watching. Hope these videos help you all.